The US gets a downgrade, markets stall in August, and inflation ticks up. Let's talk about it. Hello everybody, Joe Werbich coming at you. And for the second time in history, US government bonds have officially been downgraded from AAA to AA+. This just recently happened with Fitch's, one of the three agencies we rely on to tell us if bonds are creditworthy or not. But you have to remember, this is the second time this has occurred. Standard & Poor's downgraded US bonds to AA+ all the way back in 2011, and they haven't upgraded them since. Now, back in 2011, when this occurred, we saw the S&P 500 pull back over 7%, but we haven't seen the same reaction this time because everybody knows US debt is not the same quality it was just a few years ago. Why? Because it's increased to over $31 trillion. I mean, our debt is out of control, which means the quality of our bonds has decreased. But let's be honest, the entire world is suffering right now. There aren't a lot of great options out there when it comes to purchasing safe bonds. So while 2 out of 3 agencies have downgraded us, and more than likely Moody's will follow, when we look at your overall options, they aren't that great. This is similar to when you go to vote for US presidents. The options usually aren't that great. You pick the best one you have. Same situation is occurring in the bond market. They aren't the best options. They aren't the best credit rating. But really, the US is probably your best place to go when it comes to safe money. Now, because of this downgrade, we've seen markets stall in August. We're seeing a pullback of between 1% to 4% in our markets. However, up until the end of July, we had seen the best market increase in over 26 years. The NASDAQ was up over 40%, the S&P 500 was up almost 20%, but we still have not fully recovered from our highs back in January of 2022. The S&P 500 is still down about 6%, the NASDAQ is still down about 8%. So that tells me we could still see by the end of the year the S&P gain another 7%, the NASDAQ gain another 8 to 9%, but that would only make them even, and we basically would have lost 2 years of investing. That just means that if you put money into either the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or the Dow 2 years ago, you're still underwater. So once we recover that, we still have to make up for lost time. That's why I feel that the markets have a good future ahead of them. Even though we're seeing inflation tick up a little bit, it actually rose from 3% to 3.2%. This was heavily influenced from housing, and housing is getting hammered right now, as I've said before, because of the lock-in effect. A lot of people are not willing to sell their house because they have a 2 or a 3 or maybe a 4% mortgage, and right now interest rates are over 7% in the housing markets. People don't want to sell their house and then get a new mortgage at a much higher rate. So the inventory is at an all-time low, which is driving the cost of homeownership, which is driving the consumer price index. Even though we saw the CPI increase to 3.2%, experts still believe that we will not see an increase in rates from Powell in September nor in November because he's already raised it to 5.25%, and we're seeing core inflation continue to drop. Unemployment fell to 3.5%, and people are still sitting on a bunch of cash. So there are a lot of positives out there. And this pullback in August, I personally think of as a positive because I don't like when the market climbs straight up. I want to see some pullbacks every now and again just to make me feel like we're headed in the right direction. If you like videos like this, make sure you check out some of my others. Leave a comment down below for ideas for future videos. Subscribe, and as always, I'll see you next time.